Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Penny Dreadful, Season 1, Episode 3, Resurrection. And this episode, just wow. I mean, I'm going to say right now, Penny Dreadful can do no wrong. This was by far the best episode we've had so far, because we got a lot of backstory on Victor. A lot of backstory on Victor, a lot of backstory on the first creature he created, and I was dead wrong with this show. You know, I thought that creature that stabbed, Proteus was, Dracula, but that's not the case at all, and I'll talk about that in this episode. But we also found, I'm really interested in the ending as well, because I kind of think I know where the ending's going, but so far I've been wrong with Penny Dreadful so far, so I guess we'll just have to see, but let's just get to this episode. So the first scene in this episode is actually a flashback. We see a young Victor, which I definitely like that we got a lot more with Victor in this episode, because Victor was very limited in the last episode. We didn't see a lot of Victor, so, this episode was the complete opposite of that. Sorry guys, I'm just charging my laptop. We didn't see a lot of, Victor in the last episode, but this episode, Victor was basically the main focus, because we got a whole bunch of stuff with Victor, and the creatures he's made, and just a lot with Victor in this episode. So we see a young Victor, he's walking through a field, and he's really admiring the flowers and the grass, and he then comes upon his dog, and it's dead, and its eyes is filled with maggots. Right away, a very creepy scene. I mean, that was creepy right there. What I love about the show is that, as I said, it can be genuinely creepy. Then we see his mother, Caroline, and she comes to find him. And she says, the Bradshaw is a good dog. They return to the house. Caroline comforts her son, saying that death might be merely a gesture towards something greater, something they're not meant to know. So Victor admires that he shall miss Bradshaw, and says it's just the two of them now. Caroline agrees and starts coughing up blood. So, I mean, that's really sad. So, Caroline is then taken to her bed. Victor looks on as the doctors tend to his mother. Victor's father closed the door. Victor wonders if she will die soon, and said that death is not serene. Sometime later, Caroline does pass away, and Victor watched the funeral from a distance. He returns to his room and starts going through books on human anatomy. This is basically what we're supposed to see. This is how Victor got the whole concept of bringing people back from the dead. Seeing his mother die, and hearing, his father say, death is only serene, Victor kind of got that idea, I want to start, creating things, because then we see the adult Victor look upon his creation, and actually the creature that stabbed Proteus is his firstborn. So the creature says that Victor should have known that he would have eventually found him, tells his creator to stand and face him, and once Victor does so, the creature retells his tale, and relates his tale, and I just thought this was such a good scene. I love this scene. I love the way they did this next scene. It was really creepy, and it was really, really well done. I love that about this episode. By the way, my only complaint with this episode is that this episode was really short. It ended at like 10:46. It was really short. I'm just like, what the fuck? Why is it ending so early? So the creature awakens and he's screaming, and Victor uses Victor runs away terrified, and he did not return, because he was terrified of this creature. So he's locked in the lab. The creature looks out on the world and saw men beating horses and comes to the conclusion that he was an animal. So, he was pretty sure that he was an animal, and the difference is that Victor, I think the reason this creature was so mad is because Victor took this creature out. He took this creature out, and basically, he took this creature out, and, he took Proteus out, and he told him about the world. He let this creature run away, and that's why he's so pissed at Victor. So the creature is studying Victor's books of poetry, and eventually learns how to read. So, just like last week with Proteus, he learned how to he learned how to do all these things on his own, though. So, that's why he's so upset. So then we see Victor, he's staring in horror, and the creature says that he is a man of iron and merchandise, not poetry. He grabs his creator by the throat, says that he will never run from him again, because they are inseparable. Victor stares down at Proteus' shattered body and asks the creature how he could do that. And he says that he did. He did kill Proteus of mercy by killing it before it could know pain, because it didn't know pain yet, so the creature describes how it came to find, then we see, then he tells a flashback of how the creature talks about how it came to find Victor. And basically, the flashback tells that he was realizing that his creator would seek work as a surgeon. So the creature came to London, but he bumped into a woman, and several men dragged him into an alleyway, beat him up, and afterward, a drunk actor by the name of Vincent Brand found the creature and offered him a drink. And so, I mean, that was really big. And the creature took it, grateful, and nearly choked on it. Vincent noticed his scars and assumes that his new friend suffered an industrial accident and offers to buy him dinner. So they go to a tavern, and Vincent talks about how he has suffered the integration of his art. The actor then offers the creature a job in the one place where his visage is not a horror, the theater. Kind of like the Phantom of the Opera. That's what that reminded me of, honestly. So Vincent takes his friend to the Grand Gruisional and takes him into the stage door. And we see them performing Sweeney Todd, which, of course, because this is a horror show, that's what they'd be performing. They'd be performing Sweeney Todd, which, I thought that was a pretty good scene because, you know, we saw, like, a woman's, throat get slit, and, you know, you thought it was, like, you thought it was real, but it turned out that it was just the show. So, I mean, that was pretty big. And it has all the, you know, all the theatrical gore that can devise, you know, things like that. And the creature is loving it. He takes it all in, and Vincent explains that he will deal with the equipment and can live in the basement as he wishes. So the creature agrees, and Vincent asks for his name. When he hesitates, Vincent offers him the name Caliban. So that's the creature's name. His name is Caliban because from Shakespeare's The Tempest. And you know what? I like that. I like that. But the thing is that he's so mad at Victor because Victor could have taught him all this stuff, and Vincent's really the one that helped him. So a woman then calls for Vincent, and before he leaves, the actor shakes Caliban's hand, welcomes him to the Grand Gruisional, and once he's alone, Caliban looks out through the screens and sees an attractive young actress, Maud Gunson. Enraptured, he stares at her. He clearly likes this girl. So the opera is ready for its opening night, and not all the actors are comfortable with Caliban, and he stays in the shadows to protect what heart he has. So after performances, Caliban slipped out to find his creator, and he finally succeeded. So, you know, that was really big. So Caliban cleans himself off, and Victor apologizes for leaving him. The scientist admits that he can't unmake the past, and Caliban says that his concern is with the future. He tells Victor to come with him so he can show him what he wants, because the difference is that Victor didn't ask what the other creature wants, so he wants to tell him what he wants. So Caliban leads Victor through the streets, concedes that his creator has learned much since his first creation, and Victor turns to face his creation for the first time and asks what he wants, and Caliban demands that he make a companion as everlasting as himself. So Victor does not. Then Caliban vows to destroy everything that he loves. Victor says that he would do better to threaten him with life, but Caliban warns that he can show him horror that he has never imagined, and then walks away. So that's really big there. So Victor walks through the street, and when Sabine finds him and says that Malcolm requires him. So basically, you know, that's a pretty big thing. And he then goes to Victor, and basically that was the end of I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the subplot. But basically, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with Victor and Caliban, because Caliban now wants his revenge. He wants that. I think Caliban just loves the idea of love, and he wants someone to love, and Victor didn't want that, so now he's out for revenge. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. I love the main plot. I love where it went. Let's get to the subplot of this episode. Basically, Vanessa is going up the stairs. She has a vision of Mina begging for her, and Mina says that the beasts begging for her help. And Mina says that the beasts that feed at night are all around her. Begs Vanessa to save her. As a shrieking of animals rise in the background, the vision fades, and Vanessa goes to Sir Malcolm and says they need to talk, because she just realized what happened. So at the Marines, Malcolm and Vanessa go over a map of London, and they try to pinpoint Mina's location. Sabine comes in and announces that Ethan has arrived. The showman admits that he's looking for money and is willing to work for it. So Malcolm admits that they are planning another expedition, and he tells Vanessa to explain as she sees fit and leaves. And Vanessa explains that she had a vision, and she's surprised that she accepts his gift, and Ethan asks what happened to Mina. So Vanessa hesitates and then explains that Mina was working as a governess and became engaged to a Jonathan Harker, which, this is a lot like the show Dracula on NBC. You know, Jonathan Harker was on NBC, so, on the Dracula show on NBC, so, I mean, they're following the story, which is great. I like that the show follows the classic horror stories. It doesn't do its own thing. It follows the classic horror stories. She then becomes very embroiled with another man who's not entirely a man, and the creature influenced Mina's behavior, and she has become his slave, actually, hovering between his world and theirs. They don't know the man's name, but she believes he's at the London Zoo, so that's a pretty big thing. So Malcolm, Vanessa, Sabine, and Ethan break into the London Zoo. As Vanessa studies the area, Malcolm warns Ethan to let Vanessa do anything and everything without question. So Vanessa leads them on and then warns them that something is wrong there. She asks Malcolm what he hasn't told her. And then a wolf steps out of the path ahead. Yes, this is really good. A wolf steps out on the path ahead. More wolves close in and Malcolm draws his gun. But Ethan tells everyone to freeze. One wolf walks past Vanessa, joins the others, and Ethan steps forward. After a moment, he hoists his gun, extends one hand. The alpha wolf walks forward and gently bites Ethan's hands and then turns and leads the other wolves away. As I said before, someone told me they think that Ethan is a werewolf. So I'm really thinking that, yeah, that is true. Especially from that scene right there, I think Ethan is a werewolf. So Ethan leads them off. Vanessa notices a monkey cage and approaches it. The cage has been torn open in one spot. Several of the monkeys have been torn apart. So circling around, Vanessa finds a teenage boy with white eyes tearing apart another monkey and eating it. At first I thought this was Dracula, but it wasn't. He lunges at Vanessa. Ethan knocks him out. Malcolm stops Ethan from shooting the boy and says that they still need chains. So at Malcolm's cell, so I want to know who this boy is. So at Malcolm's cellar, the explorer questions their prisoner, and he says that his name is Fenton, and he knows who Vanessa is. Who, when she wonders how he knows of her, he lunges forward to the end of his chains. Malcolm demands knowledge of his master, kicks Fenton in the head. Fenton kneels to lick the, up his own blood, and then says his master is close behind them, and soon life will end, and world will belong to the Hidden Ones. Vanessa asks if he knows of Mina, and Fenton says that he knows Mina. He speaks in a woman's voice, saying that Mother will punish her, and Malcolm grabs a whip and beats him. I mean, it wasn't as creepy as the seance scene last week, but still pretty creepy. So then we see what Malcolm won with Victor, because Sabine arrives with Victor, and Malcolm continues to beat Fenton until Ethan stops him, which is, you know, pretty big. So they go up to the study, and Ethan says that he won't stand for the, what was I saying? Okay. He won't stand for the torture of children. So Victor points out to Ethan that and his fellow Americans slaughtered thousands of Indians. So Malcolm tells them to focus on the issue at hand, and Victor says that he will need to make a proper examination to prepare a cure. Hopefully a cure that can be used on Mina when they find her. He suggests that they administer transfusion and removes the toxins from Fenton's system in the hopes of restoring him. So Ethan objects, and Vanessa tells him to leave the house if he objects. She admits that they have become brutal because they have been brutalized by loss, and warns that there's no turning back from the moment at hand. So Malcolm then says that they must swear fealty to each other if they are to proceed. First Vanessa, and then Sabine nod in agreement. And after a moment, Vanessa does as well. They then turn to Ethan, and he finally says that he is with Vanessa. She says that she is with him as well, and then asks Malcolm if he knew Mina wouldn't be at the zoo. He admits that he feared as much and that the whole thing was a lure by the creature that seek to obtain Vanessa. So, do you remember how Vanessa was, you know, possessed last week? I predicted that something's going on with Vanessa, so clearly there's a creature that made her possessed, and it's out to get her. So, you know, that's really interesting there. So Malcolm insists that he doesn't know why the creature wants her. So I guess that's going to be a huge thing for the rest of the season, is why does this creature want her? Then we see that Malcolm tells Victor that he's spoken with the hematologist they discussed before, and will consult with Victor. Victor confirms that he will come the next day, bring supplies for the transfusion. Before he goes, Victor warns Malcolm that if they transform Fenton, they will be making a new life, and they are responsible for it. And then this next scene, really, really important. I mean, I think I know where this is going, and I'm really interested in seeing where this is going. I think I know where it's going, though. Let me just explain it. So, basically, we see Fenton, he's in the prison, and he says, "I'm right here, master." If you remember, we have Victor, right? Master is Igor's catchphrase. So in my opinion, I think Fenton is going to become Igor. I really do, because he just said the famous catchphrase, master. that is the thing that Igor says whenever he talks about Frankenstein. You know, he says, "I'm right here, master," or something like that, or "Yes, master." And, you know, this kid is perfect for that. He's young, he's perfect for that, and I can definitely see him becoming Igor. And because we have Victor on the show, because he said master, I think that, you know, he is going to become Igor. I think that's what's going to happen, is that he's going to become Igor, and I really think that's what's going to happen. I know it sounds really stupid. I know I might sound like an idiot, but I don't care. I think he is going to become Igor. That's what I think is going to happen here. So, yeah, that was basically the episode. The only other thing we do need to know is that, my complaint with the episode is that there was this one really graphic sex scene, which was great. I like when they have graphic sex. I like when they have the graphic sex scenes on the show. You know, Ethan and Brona, they're having sex in his room, tries to kiss her, she hesitantly lets him in, they finish, and afterwards, Brona goes up, coughing, and admits that she doesn't have money for medicine. So, you know, that's a pretty big thing there, and Ethan explains that when he's living with, where he's living to Vanessa, and she figures that a woman is involved. He missed that Brona has consumption, and Vanessa figures that everyone loves a lost cause. So, what she's basically saying is you only love her because she's sick. And maybe Vanessa does like Ethan, but honestly, I thought she liked Dorian Gray in the last episode. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens there. But overall, this episode was amazing. I loved everything in this episode. I thought it was great with the beginning where we got a lot of, you know, flashbacks on, you know, Victor and his original creation, what's going to happen there. I think this creature is going to try to actively destroy him. We're going to have to see how Caliban destroys Victor. I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen there. The creature that's trying to... The creature that is trying to go after Vanessa, why does the creature specifically want her? I don't know. We're going to have to see what's going to happen there. And also, is Fenton going to be Igor? I'm really, really positive that Fenton is going to be Igor. I'm just so positive he's going to be, and I think it's what's probably going to happen. And also, Ethan and Brona, do you think that Ethan really does love Brona, or does he just sympathize with her because she's sick? What do you think's going on there? Overall, I'm loving this show. This third episode was fantastic. By far the best episode so far. I know some people found it boring or whatever, but think about it. We got a lot of details on things that we've needed details on, like Victor and things like that. And I really like this episode focused on Victor. It was a fantastic episode because of that. That's been my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for... It'll be for the new movie on Lifetime that's premiering tonight called Petals on the Wind, because I want to watch that movie. By the way, I'm not watching The Normal Heart. I tried to watch it. I did not like it. I'm just going to admit that right now, guys. I'm not watching The Normal Heart. I tried to watch it, but I did not like it. So, I don't know. I might give it another watch, but I really don't know. But we'll see what my next review is. So, I'll see you guys in my next review. Okay, bye.